Um, it's a very simple example, actually. For example, I can say that in the students, I have one another field for graduate. And when students are registering in the university, the field is 0. When they graduate, the field will be changed to 1. For example, this student is graduated, so the field is changed to 1. This is for example, here we say a small set of possible values. The possible values for graduation is 0 or 1. We don't have another one. Or maybe the student is fired from the university. He cannot come anymore to the university. So we can have the third one too, for example. When they fire a student, or a student doesn't want anymore to continue the lesson, continue studying in this university, and he or she is going away, we can make it 2. So the set is very small, and for one student, I know that this field is not 0. So I can conclude that it must be 1, for example, or 2. It means that you can find some information from the information that you don't know, or you don't have access to them, but you can conclude. You can reach a conclusion about the information, not directly, but indirectly. You don't have direct access to an information, but indirectly you can go to this information. Existence of data is itself maybe sensitive piece of data. For example, the existence of data means is there such information or not? For example, I go to research a research lab, and I want to see if they have information about COVID vaccine, for example, about some kind of vaccine. I go to this lab, I hack their system in this laboratory, and I want to check if they have any formula, any information about the vaccines for COVID, for example. Then the first step is that I check the existence of such information before I try to hack information, before I try to, for example, copy the information somewhere. I must be sure that there is such information. It means existence. So if I know that the information exists, then I will go to the step 2. So maybe a laboratory doesn't want anyone knows that they have the information about the vaccine. They don't want anyone to know that there exists information about such a formula. Here, the existence of the data is sensitive by itself. And we have probable values. Probability that a certain element has a certain value. Maybe it can be sensitive data. The probability that an element has a certain value. For example, I say that there is a chance of 60% that in this database we have the formula of that vaccine. It's the probability. We have I have another example. For example, I know that here in university we have average of grades of students, for example, from 0 to 20 is the average of grades of graduate students. But I know that most students average are here, for example. Complete this. This is number of students. In each set, and here is average of grades of students. I know many of students have average, for example, between 15 to 18. Then smaller parts are here, average between 19 to 20. Some are here and some are here. Using this, we call it histogram. Let me check the spell. Histogram. Well, if someone has this histogram, he or she knows what's the probability of you as a graduate student to have this degree. When you graduate from this university, there is a chance of, for example, 14% that your final result, final average of grades will be between 17 to 18. And there is a little chance, for example, 15% that your final result average will be between 19 to 20. Maybe someone can use this information to have some data from your grades, from your grades of and final grade and average grade. They can find some information from this. In sensitive data, it can be in countries. They have many statistical data, important data, statistical data that they don't want the enemy knows them. Even something about the weather, the water resources in a country, they are confidential, they are private, and they are sensitive. Maybe someone can conclude from information as this histogram to find probability of raining in a country, and maybe they don't want this to be available to anyone, or the resources of the water, for example. So when we say probable value, it means the user or attacker or someone doesn't know the exact value, but he or she knows the probability that a certain element has a certain value. He or she knows that